Hello summoners and summonettes, it's Golden here, and today I'm bringing you the promised Q&A from a few weeks ago where I mentioned in a video, just throw me some questions, it could be anything, and I'll shoot you some answers. So I finally decided to get around to answering that, and during the video I'm going to be incorporating items from a LootCrate box that we got. I believe this was the September month from LootCrate. As you all know, I recently got a partnership with them, so I figured might as well, not make the Q&A too terribly boring so we can do something alongside it. So we'll go ahead and actually open this bad boy with my favorite knife. Big ass shift knife here. So let's see if I can get this open. Probably wasn't my best idea to actually bring this knife. Alright. I'm gonna have to be back here after I actually open this. Alright. That took a lot longer than needed. Probably should have gotten an actual size knife, but let's see what we got here. So I believe the theme is summoning. So we'll see if they have pieces to Exodia. Because I got the main piece right here, and let me tell you, I've been trying to defeat Kaiba for like 10 years now, and I haven't even been able to summon freaking Exodia. So we'll see if they got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards in here. But first up, looks like we got a Pikachu cat, baby. You know I'm putting it on right now. That's actually pretty awesome. Let's get it. Do I look pretty? Alright, so we'll go ahead and start off with the first question here. We have a question from Denser Moon and Tenshi Rozu. By the way, sorry if I slaughter any of your names during this video. But they both kind of asked the same question here, where they asked, how did you first start League of Legends, and what was your first champion you ever played, and who was your first main? So, I started League of Legends, I believe, I don't know what year it was, but it was my sophomore year of high school, I believe, and I started playing, I ended up hitting level 30 a month before season 1 ended, so I guess you can go back and see when that actually was. But oh my god, my phone's going crazy. Let's just go ahead and put that up there. So I first started playing when my brother randomly picked up the game with all of his high school friends, and at the time I was playing pretty much only WoW for like 12 hours a day. I'd been playing for several years, and I was getting a little bit tired of it, and my brother was like, hey, come play this game with us. It's brand new, and it's something that we've never played before. It was a MOA instead of playing MMOs. So I tried it, and the first champion I ever played, I remember my first game, it was Tristana, and back then you didn't have a meta, so I think I went Tristana top. And keep in mind, I'm playing an in-house with all of my brother's friends who are all already level 30 and ranked. This is my first game. I went like 0-30 that game. They did not let off the gas pedal. They were camping me, turret-diving me. I hated the game. I was just like, cool, fun game, as I'm like dead for 90% of the game. So I didn't actually play League for like another week, and then I was just like, damn, wow, it was so boring. Let's give it another try. And I picked the second champion I ever tried was Nunu, and I fell in love with him, instantly mained him, and I probably played 200 games of Nunu straight without even playing another champion. I just loved playing him, get Soul Stealer Leviathan back then, and had a blast just playing full AP Nunu. So that was my first champ I ever made. Thank you for the question. And next up, I guess let's pick out another item of the loot crate here. Looks like this is a literal Hearthstone kind of stress ball, I guess is what we'll call it. I believe it's a stress ball. We'll see if I can open this package. This is pretty cool. Nice. That's awesome. So that obviously makes sense with the summoning theme here. Got the Hearthstone plushy squish thing. I dig it. Pretty cool. Alright, let's hop into another question here. We got a question from Hussein Zali, which it's kind of not related to League, but which would you give up? Share Lloyd or food? Damn, that's hard. I love to eat, but Share Lloyd is like, ooh, if I could not eat and not die and pick Share Lloyd, we'd go with that, because who wouldn't like this?
All of them other boys can walk away. They ain't even in the game, 'cause they know that you own it.
Alright, let's pick another item out of the loot crate here. I see something else related to Hearthstone, so... Dang, this is tight. So, this is what it looks like. It's kind of like a big card back, I guess, but it is pretty much a free card pack. So, there's a code, obviously, scratch off on the back, but... Is that a real coin? I don't know why... I put this up to my ear like it was going to talk to me. I'm trying to feel the coin to see if it's real. It feels real. I wonder if it comes out. Because it's cold, so it's not a sticker or anything. That's pretty cool. I'll have to use that at another time. Alright, let's get into another question here. So we got a question from Jaden Granger, who asks, what do you do for a job? So I consider YouTube and Twitch, streaming, two kind of part-time jobs. Obviously, I don't make near enough to even be minimum wage. Honestly, I just do it for fun, and then I was doing that alongside of going to university. So I went to university for a few years, ended up not finishing it. I ended up just not going back, wasn't really enjoying what I was studying, and at the moment I'm looking into another job, potentially as a chef. There's a new marketplace opening up by me, so I'm gonna go look into that. And if not, I was thinking about going to culinary school and getting that 2-year degree there. So at the moment, Twitch and YouTube pretty much my only two jobs. So thank you for that question. And let's go ahead and get into the loot crate some more here. So we got a button. They send, wait, how am I gonna do this? Here we go. They give you buttons with every month, I believe. So this one just says summon on it, and it's, oh, that's cool. It's got Pikachu on the button there. And real quick, we'll grab something else. Ooh, that's pretty cool. The Chevy Impala from Supernatural. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't want to open it, but it's a replica of the car from Supernatural. That's awesome. Alright, let's grab another question here. So we have a question from Alexander2, which is kind of related to the last question. How did you decide to become a League of Legends YouTuber? And then to follow up on that, we got Silly Ram, who asked, how do you stay motivated to keep making YouTube videos? So I've always loved teaching people in anything, real life or video games and whatnot. And I became friends with Aaron freshman year of college and got to know him for about a whole year there. And then in the summer going into my sophomore year of college, I was just playing League with Aaron, and he was just like, you know what, Connor? I think I was teaching somebody as well, and he's just like, why don't you give it a shot? And I was just like, I mean, I might as well. I'm literally sitting in my room doing nothing but playing League. Why not try and do something like that? So I ended up recording a game, and obviously it was first recording not that good. You gotta get the hang of it and stuff. But eventually I just fell in love with it and found it was really easy for me to just do full game commentaries and be educational in that sense. So Aaron is honestly pretty much why I became a YouTuber. So you can go thank him for that if you like what I do. And then the follow-up question, how do you stay motivated to keep making them? Some days you have off days, which it happens. Even just playing League of Legends in general, not even recording, you just, you don't feel like playing. So some days I try and just tell myself, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to record for, 3 to 4 hours no matter what. Just record the videos, see if you can get a few videos that day, and then that way if you have, a surplus of videos, I don't ever like to have like more than 2 or 3 ready to go, just because I want to keep them up to date, a day ahead of time or whatnot, or that day of. I don't like having a whole bunch of videos just piled up, but that way it gives you a little bit of leeway so you can take a day off if you're not feeling League. So it's just like every other thing. You got to do it in moderation, and then sometimes at the end of the day you just got to be like, hey, I got to get a video out because it is my job. So it's hit or miss, but definitely moderation probably for that one. Alright, let's snag another item out of the loot crate here. And it looks like this is a Homer Simpson statue. Let's go ahead and open this up. Hopefully I didn't just rip that. Alright, it's in a box, as you can see here. And then it's got some foil on it as well, so let me open this. Hopefully it's not too loud on the camera. Or mic on the camera. I can't even open this. Why is everything so hard to open for me? Alright, I might bring out the knife here, but I'm afraid to bring it out. I want to chop the statue. Oh god, or chop my finger. Alright, I made a hole. I can work with that. Ooh. Alright, this is weird to say, but it smells like a new can of paint or whatever. I love that smell. I just smelled that and that's the only thing I could think of. So I guess I sniffed paint as a kid, but you know what? I liked it, so deal with it. I actually can't get this open. Alright, we'll be back when I open this. Cool. So he's sitting on a donut. It's a little, is it Hindu? I want to say. I can't remember the religion. Buddha? That's what it is. Buddha. I'm good at this, I swear. But he's sitting on a donut praying. That's pretty funny. Epic nice. Alright, let's get into another question here. Noah Thompson asks, what was your favorite League of Legends season? I would flat out have to say Season 3. That was the season that I first made my big climb. I ended Season 2 Silver 1, what would have been Silver 1, and back then they had current rating and highest rating. And my highest rating was actually Gold, but I ended up finishing 1498, which was 2 points under Gold, so I finished Silver. So I started out Season 3, placed into, I believe, Gold 2, and then from there I went all the way to Diamond 1, so that was a huge season of success for me and growth. So that was a really big season. I loved it. I kind of figured out how I wanted to play the game and, you know, got my own identity, and Thresh came out as well, so that was big. I love Thresh, so definitely Season 3 for my favorite question. Or season. I can't talk. Alright, let's see what else we got in here. Whoa! Alright, this is just the manual of what's in stuff, I believe, or in the box. And then this one says Master Summoner, which is a free mobile game online. Pretty cool. So, developed right here at LootCrate, this free mobile game has awesome augmented reality activities that you can only access with the help of a fully constructed summon crate. That is cool. And I'm assuming this thing right here is the board for the Augmented game. They're the characters. Nice. That's awesome. So you can play kind of like that. That's cool. So that is the end of the loot crate here. We still got a few questions that I want to get to, but again, I'll have all the info if you guys want to subscribe for that. The monthly loot crate, you know, they have awesome stuff in there every month, so all the info will be down below, or I'll put an annotation if I can figure out how on the screen. Shouldn't be that hard. But awesome. Thank you again to Loot Crate for sending me that, and hopefully you guys, you know, if you want it, sign up, might as well. If you're going to sign up, might as well use the code, save yourself some money anyways, so it's a win-win. But back to the questions here. Mickey Mac asks, how do you balance league and school? And this is a hard thing. Again, with the how do you stay motivated thing, you just got to do things in motivation. For me personally, found that it was best to have kind of a reward system where, say, you have a ton of homework, but obviously you don't want to cram for hours doing it, because I can't remember the exact stat, but I know there's a fact out there that says if you're studying for more than like 60 minutes at a time, you won't remember anything you studied past 60 minutes of just cramming. So it's good to give your mind a break. So the way I did it, say I had like 3 subjects worth of homework that day, I would go home, immediately when I got home, start a subject, because your brain is still fresh from school, still thinking, still kicking. So finish that subject and then be like, alright, now I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to play 1 or 2 games of League, so that's 30 to an hour worth of time, 30 minutes to an hour worth of time. And then after that, be like, alright, next subject, boom, 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 keep rinsing and repeating until everything's done. So you just got to give yourself little rewards, and obviously that makes it a lot easier than cramming for 6 hours and whatnot in a row, and you'll learn a lot more. So I think it's best to do that and just do everything in moderation and give yourself a little reward system. So hopefully that helps you. All right, next up we got Ding Chow, and he asks if you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? All right. I wish I had the box to show you here, but my family, or when I was in my own apartment at university as well, I bought like a 6 pound bag of rice. I have rice. I could eat rice every meal, every day for the rest of my life and be happy with it because that is the superfood. It can be savory, it can be sweet, it can go in almost any dish. So rice is OP, it's cheap, it's a staple for the world, staple I guess, and it's the bomb diggity. So rice, definitely. I wish I could show you. I think we're honestly out of the box, but I would go get you the box if we had one. Show how big it is. It's bigger than it's like bigger than my chest. It is the biggest box of rice I've ever seen in my life. So we almost always have one in my house. So yeah, definitely rice. And then we got a Ding Chow who asks if you could eat one. Wait, I just read that. Dyslexia at its finest. All right, we have kind of a correlation of 3 questions that kind of meshed them into one. So Andrew Young Hui and Where Kwaza 86 and Ryan Williams kind of asked lifelong goals and what you want to do. So lifelong goals and what I want to do, honestly, it's kind of simple, but for me, and I stole this quote from Scar, by the way. I was listening to his stream and somebody asked him the same question, and all he said was, I want to be happy. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be doing anything in the world, but as long as me, myself, and I are happy with what we're doing, we enjoy it, I will do anything. So I just copy his answer because that's an epic answer, and I think everybody should strive for that, just happiness. So the pursuit of happiness, doesn't matter what I'm doing, as long as I'm happy, we're good to go. So short and simple to that question. Thank you for that. We have Kyle Chen who asks, what do you consider your best role right now in League of Legends? In Season 3, Season 4, I would have said support flat out. I was playing support, enjoying it, loving it. And then Season 5 hit, and I kind of lost my identity. Huge meta change. I was trying out other things, and I feel like I kind of grew tired of support. So I was trying different roles, and I didn't have a main. I was calling myself a League of Legends main, just filling. And I think that's honestly why I've struggled so much to climb this season. I keep getting stuck at the D2 area. It's just because I don't have a confined role where I can spend all of my time trying to better myself at that role. I'm trying to play everything all at once. So it's kind of like overloading my brain in a sense. So at the moment, I don't have a role. I'm probably going to just end up going back to support at some time. In like ranked 5s and tournaments and stuff, I play support, but in solo queue, I play everything. So I wish I could answer that question right now, but I can't. So my bad. And then we have a question from Niels Art and Alexander Farman Pharma. Best champs in each role and favorite project skin. So right away, favorite project skin, Project Leona. That thing is one of the coolest skins in the game. It reminds me of, I don't know, like a Starfighter, like Gundam. I don't know. That skin is just tight. So there's that. And then for each role, this is hard. Alright, we'll go top lane, Karma. Love her. Super fun. Jungle, Evelyn or Nidalee. I can't pick one or the other. I love both of them. Played Nidalee for every season I've played League of Legends. I was a Nidalee main, so Nidalee or Evelyn. Mid lane, we'll throw down either Galio or Orianna. I love both of them. Both their ults are super fun, super game-changing as well. AD carry, when I'm not yellow valking on Corki, I'd give it to Vayne just because she's a AD carry who you can make so much outplay potential with. And that, I know that's flashy. That's what everybody likes to see in League of Legends. So Vayne, even though I suck at her. And then support, we'll throw it down to Thresh because when that champion came out, he and I, we just clicked, man. That was a good time when he was released, and he's broken. He has probably the most play potential out of almost any support in the game, and I really like that just because you can take the grasp of the game by your hands and work with it. So I like that. And then to finish us off here, we got Coco Plops asking, "Are you a pussy slayer?" Now let me tell you. Actually, let me show you. All right, BRB. Let's see if he'll jump up here. He doesn't like being held. Come here. Come on. I know you can make that jump. I've seen you do it before. Come here. He's being buggish right now. Yo, get over here. You're gonna make me pick you up? Get over here. Oh, now he's gonna itch himself. Alright, I'm picking him up. He's gonna be mad. But what I was trying to say was, there's so many pussies laying around my house, man. I got 3 of them. You'd be hard pressed to not see a pussy 24/7 at my house. So, if that answers your question, there you go. And no, don't call Pete on me. Don't actually fuck my cats. It was a joke, you sickos. Alright. So, I believe that does it. We got all the questions. If you guys have questions that I didn't answer, feel free to leave them in the comments. Now you jump up. So he's literally behind. Here, let's see. Let's flip this around. He's literally just chilling. Hi. Now you jump up. Sniff the camera. Wow. Playing hard to get, I see. But yeah, oh god. Like I said, guys, if you had any questions that didn't get answered, feel free to leave them in the comment box below. And I will answer all of them because I read every comment. So if you like the video, go ahead and throw a like. I'll have all my other social media such as Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. As well as, wait, there's no rinse and mastery. This wasn't a game. Oh well, you know what I mean. Alright guys, I'll see y'all later.